Well, then I guess your father will have to go to the police.
And what will they do?
Whatever police do. Try and find the person responsible and arrest him.
Is that mostly what police do? Hello and welcome back. I am Joel Sharpton, one half of the Articulate Coven, and we are watching episode 18 right now of Dark Shadows, the original supernatural soap opera. If you have not been watching the series and you're not familiar with it, you might want to start back at our watch of episode 1 so you can grab all of the storyline. Although I will say episode 15, actually watching episode 16, the one we started with, this drop. I'm doing 3 a week here. If you want to start with episode 16, that's a pretty good jumping on point as well. All right, let's all go to Collinsport and see how the Collinses do. All right, Dark Shadows, we don't need to do that from now on. That's 2 episodes in a row. I'm seeing you.
To a boy whose eyes brim with fear.
That's 2 episodes in a row. You started the episode doing the same thing that the last episode did. Last episode, Elizabeth Stoddard climbed the stairs when the previous episode ended with her climbing the stairs. In this episode, Roger's going upstairs to harass and harangue Miss Winters. When he did that already last episode, we got creepy David here staring into the camera. See, he didn't do that. Y'all, look, y'all literally filmed him twice. That's crazy. Like, why not just rerun it?
To the strange sounds and lonely echoes of a small room filled with the memory of long dead years.
All these windows open tonight. Well, Victoria keeps her door locked. So when you go to banging on it with your one good arm, Roger, Elizabeth's going to hear you. See, that camera cannot keep a moving focus. It's very funny. Yeah. Now you're backing up in time. He had already knocked.
Who is it?
Roger Collins. I hate to disturb you, but I have to talk to you.
It's very late.
There's only one person that is coming to your room in the middle of the night, knocking on the door, hollering about Miss Winters.
I'm not dressed.
Well, I'll wait for you downstairs in the drawing room. Please hurry.
So at this point, Victoria has not even been at Collinsport for a week, I don't think. We might have crossed a week now. But still, well, I guess it depends on how long Roger dealt with. Well, it's just overnight. It's not even overnight. He was like, God bless, the time in this thing is hard to compress. How are we going to handle this in 200 episodes when we start going back in time? I'm assuming that's what happens later in this series. I don't know. I do know we get Barnabas's story eventually, and we see his time period where he came from. So excited to get there. I'm genuine when I realized the next grouping, the next time I watch Dark Shadows, is going to take us into the 20s. I got super excited. That dude is adept at stealth. Just like up against the wall, quiet in the shadows. Thought you didn't want to see him.
I know that I don't like little boys listening at keyholes.
I wanted to find out what happened.
Let's be honest. Roger Collins was prince of the little boys listening at keyholes when he was David's age, wasn't he? That's my guess. Roger Collins was in everybody's business when he was that age.
Just go to bed and leave me alone. That's all I care about.
Well, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not sorry at all. Maybe I wish you'd...
A-L-I-B-I, you ain't got no alibi.
Mr. Collins, I told you I intended to come down as soon as I... David, what are you doing up so late?
Can I talk to you?
God,
Sure, come on in.
Absolutely. All I wanted to do in the middle of the night was talk to all the Collins men. Why don't you get Granddaddy and Grandpapa Ghost in here, too?
I tried to tell him I'm sorry, but he wouldn't listen.
Is that all?
He yelled at me and told me to go to bed.
Well, it's the middle of the night, kid. How long are we going to entertain this kid in the middle of the night, man?
I'm sure there isn't a child in this whole world who hasn't said what you did at some time or another.
Listen. Yeah, I was thinking about it. Yeah. I can say with confidence I never wished my parents died. I was awfully mad at my father several times, but not that mad. I'm not a psychopath. Also, I had good parents. Have good parents. My mom's wonderful. You're sitting down in the wrong room, Miss Winters.
Miss Winters? What if it wasn't an accident?
Well, then I guess your father will have to go to the police.
And what will they do?
Whatever police do. Try and find the person responsible and arrest him.
Is that mostly what police do?
David, I have no more time.
You've said that, and you keep having more time.
Even if it meant he'd have to go to jail?
Yes.
Your father was almost
She just said he should go to jail.
for anyone to do.
He wants to send me away.
Oh,
Don't you
goodness.
think that's terrible?
He's still got the part. I genuinely think he didn't take it out. Oh, I love it. Hey, okay. So that's the second time that they've done the fade with the camera from David to Roger, and I dig it. I'm afraid my son's emotional state.
Any more that he could tell me that his suggestion that I meet him in town was an invitation to an accident.
I still genuinely think the plan with the meeting in town was to sell him some false property in Brazil or Venezuela.
Without it, it would cause the brakes to not function in about 2 minutes. Now, about this sound that you heard, could it have been the hood slamming down instead of the door?
I mean, yeah, of course it could have been.
He was holding a wrench in his hand.
I just found this on the front seat.
You saw Devlin standing at my car with a wrench in his hand and you didn't mention it?
The man told me he found the wrench in the car seat, and well, there was no reason in the world not to believe.
I mean, but there was no reason in the world not to tell Roger that before he got in said car and drove it to town to meet said man. Genuinely, if this ends up being a thing, I think Victoria should have to go to jail too for it.
I'm so sorry. I suppose I should have said something, but
Yes, you should have.
because I didn't know you'd patched up your quarrel then.
Well, obviously we hadn't. What did he say to that? Is Mr. Devlin there? Oh, he's not. All right, thank you. I'll call later.
Anticlimactic phone calls.
Now, you'd better get dressed.
Me? What for?
I don't want to give him the chance to deny that he ever had that wrench. I want you standing beside me all the time.
I'm sorry, Mr. Collins, but I
Well, you just asked me if there was anything you could do to help. This is it.
No.
Look, you won't have to go up to his room. Not unless it's absolutely necessary. You can wait in the lobby. But I may need you. Now, don't let me down now.
This is weird. This is weird, bud. Roger, this is very weird. God, you're gonna just drive her to town. First of all, what are you gonna drive her in? Also, like, kudos, kiddo. That was a good stomp. I mean, I know you're wearing shoes, but is she gonna throw it out the window? Yep. Man, you should have thrown away that part you stole. That kid was trying to plant the evidence again.
Tonight, I'm only interested in what happened to that car. And it doesn't involve David at all.
Except it do involve... Okay, well, now wait a minute. That does look a little bit less like a spark plug than originally. Whoops. I'm still not convinced. But it didn't look exactly like a spark plug that time. All right. Decent episode. Boy, like no credits for that one, huh? That's interesting. Let me pause this before it starts another episode for me. All right. So that is episode 18. That's where we're going to cliffhanger this week. You can catch these early if you're watching on YouTube right now. You can go ahead and catch next week's episode. It's already up on our Patreon, articulatecoven.com/join. $2 or more a month gets you access to all of our videos and audio early and ad-free. So thank you for everybody who's signed up for that. And if you're enjoying these on YouTube, thank you too for watching along with me. We'll be back soon with more from the Articulate Coven. I am Joel.